Hi there, Chris the Geek figure fan here, and today we're taking another look at a Star Wars Black Series figure. This time we're looking at the 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back retro carded Boba Fett. So I'm not going to be doing this review alone. Thankfully, once again joining me is Cardboard Colin, my friend and co-host on the Nerdy Nostalgia podcast. As I've said before, Cardboard Colin is the fountain of all Star Wars knowledge, especially Star Wars figure collecting. So I'm really excited to take a look at this sort of retro designed Black Series figure, not in its usual Black Series box, but in kind of a retro Kenner style design that's reminiscent of when the figure originally came out after The Empire Strikes Back. Thanks again to Colin for supplying this figure and for helping me with this review. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pop the box on the stand and we'll take a look at the box art first because it's pretty incredible. I'm going to let Colin give his thoughts on the box. We'll get the figure out after that. We'll get it into some poses for an in-hand look.
So here we have the Empire Strikes Back carded 40th anniversary Black Series Boba Fett. This is an amazing figure. Now, the actual figure itself been used many times since the mould. And, you know, it's a brilliant figure. It really works really well. It's got good articulation. It looks brilliant. On this particular version, paint detail is excellent. But obviously the beauty of this is the card back. And obviously it's designed to look just like the original Kenner Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett figure, obviously the 3.75 inch version from the old days, from the 80s. But this whole range of 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back Black Series figures were brilliant, so nostalgic for someone of a certain age like myself. It's just brilliant. It just, they stand out so well, and it's just such an iconic figure anyway. And you know, the picture they use of Boba Fett firing his, I don't know what he's firing, his flamethrower, I guess. Obviously, that was used on the Star Wars card back as well, which I've also got. But I just love the, you know, it just looks classic. It's a beautiful thing. And so, obviously, on the front, it looks brilliant. On the back, you know, very reminiscent of the style they used to have. They've got some of the other figures that were in this wave.
So I can only echo Colin's thoughts on the box. I kind of really love this card back design, and I've always got a soft spot for card back design figures. My favourite were the Kenner Real Ghostbusters figures. There's something super nostalgic about a card back and seeing the artwork that's all over it, flipping it on the back and seeing the other figures from the range, begging mum and dad to get you those other figures. I really miss that kind of look. And I suppose that's why things like the vintage collection do so well, because they really tap into that want for the old card back design. But anyway, let's get this figure out. Let's get him into some poses and we'll have a look and see whether it holds up.
But the actual figure itself comes with quite a few accessories. You've got the backpack, you've got his rifle, you've got his pistol. Just great detailing. And as I said, the mould's been used on a few other versions of Boba Fett, and I'm lucky enough to have collected quite a few of those. But it looks really good. I'm so pleased with this figure. I had to buy it on the card back. I've actually also got it, bought it twice, so once that I could open it. And it looks good. You've got the sort of tan and beige, and a little bit of like red cape. You've got the Wookiee braids. The scope, I believe, is fixed. Yeah, that's fixed in place, so not a movable scope, unfortunately, like some of the other versions of Boba Fett. Obviously, the pistol fits into his holster. Yeah, the backpack comes off. It's just a great looking figure. The Return of the Jedi version was classed as deluxe, and that went a little bit more, paint details a little bit more detailed. But this is a classic figure. It looks amazing. I'm going to get protector for it, and it's just one to have on display.
Yeah, again, I agree with Colin on this. I love the paint detailing on this one, especially the worn parts of the helmet and the armour. All of the paint application on this is just perfect. It's not just the weathering, but the weathering is a major part of it. I just love how battle damaged he looks. He's an excellent addition to any Star Wars collection, really. So, I mean, is it something that you've already got? Is it something that you want to get? And what I'd love to know is, if you do get it, would you remove it from its card backing? Would you buy multiple so that you can do what Colin has done and have one out and keep one box? Personally, if I had a figure like this, I'd probably want to keep it boxed, even though I'm am generally an out-of-box collector, but it'd be a tough decision. I just don't want to damage that look. So now comes the time in the video where I would normally canvass my audience and beg unreservedly for someone to subscribe to my channel. But on this occasion, what I'd really love you to do is perhaps check out the Nerdy Nostalgia Presents podcast. It's a weekly podcast where we talk film, TV, comics, toys. We do reviews. We do executive pitches of where we decide how, what we should do moving forward with franchises. We rank our favourites. It's a good time. We really enjoy ourselves. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts from. And why not check out the Nerdy Nostalgia website? On there, as well as the podcast, you'll be able to check out all of Cardboard Colin's incredible artwork. And if you're lucky, you might be able to see him in person at a con near you. So thanks again to Cardboard Colin for joining us today, for supplying this figure, for providing some really helpful insight into it. And yeah, thanks ever so much, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.